If you're booking a Viking cruise, there's a $150 decision that you have to make about your flights. Most people don't either understand it or don't even know that it exists and skip it by not understanding all the details. I get this question all the time about Viking Air and some of the upgrades that they have available as well as other options. So today I want to talk to you about what those different flight options would be for your Viking cruise. Before we get started, hello, my name is William. I'm with River Cruise Experts. I personally help travelers find the right river cruise for them, make sure that all the details are handled so that you can focus on the experience, not just the logistics. My wife, Shelley, is also in the travel agency. She helps folks with luxury ocean cruises and luxury land tours. So between the two of us, we can certainly get you taken care of. So I'd like to jump into some common questions that I get because we do receive these on a regular basis. Just a couple of days ago, Lisa from Florida asked me about what happens with my flights if I just go with the Viking Standard Air. Excellent question. I get this almost every single day. So let's talk about what the Viking Standard Air does. Viking Standard Air is the default option that's going to be available to you for booking a air package with your Viking cruise. It's an exceptional option. It's a great way to do things. Viking is going to select everything for you though. They're going to select the airlines, the routes, the layover cities, the seat assignments if they do so at all. You're going to have very minimal input, usually zero input, but it's certainly going to be a great value. Oftentimes, these flight options that are being made available from Viking are coming to you with some kind of a promotional rate. That might be the free air option if you're grabbing one of those excellent promotions, or you might just be getting the reduced air promotion through Viking. So either way, it's an exceptional option, one to give some good consideration to. With your Viking Standard Air, your Viking flight assignments are not going to be done until 90 days prior to your trip. So let's say you're booking a trip for a year in advance from now. Viking is going to note your details, get everything taken care of, but they're not going to book your flight until 90 days prior to your trip, about 3 months out. As you can imagine, by 90 days, most of the good seats on the airplanes are going to be taken up. So that's a little bit of the risk that you have with the Viking Standard Air, but there are some options. We'll talk about that here in a moment. You do receive the confirmation number, so you can log in with your confirmation number and details into the airline themselves, not with Viking, but Delta, American, United, whoever that might be, and go in and change your seats with the ones that are left available and remaining for you. The other risk is that you could end up with a very long routing. So let's say you're going to Budapest and you're flying from the Midwest, you might have a 15, 16-hour route versus something if you would have booked it a little bit earlier in advance, you might end up with a 10, 11, 12-hour route. It just takes a long time to get to Budapest. So being able to pick an earlier routing is going to be somewhat of an advantageous element for you. We're going to talk about how that option works here in just a moment. Some of the positive notes about Viking Air, regardless of whether you do their upgraded option we'll talk about, or if you just go with the standard Air. Viking has staff in all of the major airports that they're utilizing for all of their various trips. So if you're going to Budapest, for the example that I shared with you a moment ago, and you end up flying through Paris or Frankfurt, it's not where you're stopping, it's just your layover city. Viking has staff located in all of these major airports for layovers, and that staff is there to help guide you in case there's some kind of an issue with your flights. If you're arriving onto your flight and you miss a connection, you're going to have some staff in person to be able to help you, as well as the 24-hour emergency air number to reach the Viking Air department. Between the two of these, the goal is that you don't ever have to go and stand in the really long queue line up to see the desk at the airport to visit with that particular airline to get yourself rebooked. Viking Air is going to work to get that taken care of for you. So it's still an excellent option that's available to you, but I did want to share with you what that looks like. So then I received a question last Friday, I believe. I was visiting with Karen and Mark out of Ohio, and they asked, what exactly is this Viking AirPlus that you talk about? What are we getting for the $150? Excellent question. It's one that you should definitely give some consideration to. So Viking AirPlus is an upgrade air option that you have available, again, at $150 per person. The biggest difference that it offers, the biggest benefit for you, is that they're going to book your flights 310 days in advance of your trip. Versus that 90 days that we talked about with the standard option, the Viking AirPlus is going to book these for you at 310 days in advance. As you can imagine, you're going to get the best advantage of routing. You're also going to have a much better seat selection opportunity when you do get access to that confirmation number to go in and pick the seats that you would like and have something preferable to you. So it's not completely unlimited by choice. They are going to have a few stipulations. You can still make a couple of upgrades if you're wanting a very particular route that just ends up costing more. They're going to provide you with the benefit that they've got available to you on the promotion, but you still can have some upgrade options even if you're going from main cabin economy to main cabin economy on a different route that you prefer that just happens to cost $100 extra. That might still be in play. As you can well imagine, though, if you're spending $10,000, $12,000 or more on a river cruise, $150 to make sure that you kick everything off the right way the very first time is an excellent investment. So one definitely to give some consideration to. The next question I get quite often, that's kind of a subsequent question. Received this one from Jennifer last Tuesday. We were visiting and she asked, can I add AirPlus later? If I don't want to know if I can decide on this now, I need to visit with my husband to see if we want to add this on. Excellent question, certainly understandable. Yes, you can add AirPlus on at the time of the booking or even later, depends on whatever your personal preferences are. She just wanted to visit with him and see if he thought it was worth the investment. Totally understood. However, if you decide to add it on at the time of your deposit, it does not add to the deposit amount. Your $25 promotional deposit per person that you have available with Viking will not be impacted if you add on this Viking AirPlus. So you're just going to have that fee to be paid for at the time of your final payment whenever that is due upon the payment schedule. So there's no penalty to add it up front or to add it on later on. However, if you wait a substantially long time, you're starting to lose some of those benefits that are there by booking it extremely early. So by the way, this is kind of exactly the type of questions and details that we get from all of the clients that we work with throughout the booking process. If you'd like some help with a Viking cruise, whether that's Viking River Cruise or a Viking Ocean Cruise, I'm more than happy to help you with that. I can help you with that opportunity right from the start. There's a link down in the description below that you can schedule a conversation, or you can simply grab my email address down below and send me an email. I'd be happy to visit with you about your trip. So the next question that I get quite often is one that I got from Tom and Linda from Arizona. I think this was a couple of weeks ago, but they happened to be traveling with another couple, and they wanted to know, will Viking Standard Air put us onto the same flights? So when we put people together into a reservation and they're going with their friends, the river cruise itself is going to know that you are traveling together. We make that note inside the system, so they're going to keep you together as often as they possibly can. That reservation detail is made known on the ship itself. It's also known on any pre-cruise extension or post-cruise extension that you might make. But in terms of your air, it's not going to be an impact. So while Viking Air is attached to Viking, they still do have an additional department that's taking care of that. And they're just working as fast as they possibly can to get through all of these. And they don't do everything that they can to tie these things together. So as a suggestion that I made to them regarding their trip, since they were going to be traveling with another couple and they were going to be leaving from Phoenix at the same time, was to go ahead and do the Viking AirPlus so that they can ensure that they get the same routing. They can show up to the airport together. They can probably take one car, and it just saves a whole lot of headaches, and they get to enhance their experience and have a little bit longer time spent with their friends on the trip. So when you're traveling with a group or you're traveling with family and friends, I definitely recommend the AirPlus to enhance that experience for you. So the next question comes from David from Colorado. Visited with him a bit ago, and he was asking about seat upgrades. Does Viking AirPlus handle the seat upgrades? Well, AirPlus gives you the ability to have input on the airlines, the routing, and picking some certain seats. But if you're wanting to increase or elevate or upgrade your seats, that's something that you're going to be able to do on your own once you have that confirmation number in hand. So as you can tell, if you've got the Viking AirPlus in hand, you're going to have your tickets booked much further in advance, and then you have a better opportunity to go in there and have better access to the upgrades that you might want to make on your own. You can additionally still purchase an upgrade through Viking Air. They do have certain price points for main cabin economy, premium air, and business class. Not on all routes, but on most. So that's something we can certainly walk you through, and you can make a determination on your own whether or not the Viking Air upgrade is worth it to you, or if you simply want to go and use points with a favorite airline to be able to get that booked for you. Another common question we get, not too often, but it does come up about once a month. Sarah from Texas was asking about spending some additional time in Paris before the Rhine River cruise. So as you might know, the Rhine River sails from Amsterdam to Basel, Switzerland, or the reverse. and they wanted to spend some additional time in Paris just out exploring on their own, but they wanted to know if they could take advantage of the promotion that was being made available through Viking for Viking Air. Absolutely, you certainly can, and for a small $100 per person deviation fee, Viking will allow you to fly in early, fly out late. So if you're wanting to do some independent options beyond your cruise itself or without using their pre-extension, you can certainly do that. You can fly into Paris or Budapest, Munich, and be able to explore on your own and still make your way back to the ship on your own. So that's an important piece to know. But one thing that I really like to enhance, I've had some people that wanted to visit Italy, and they wanted to go spend a few days down in Italy before they went up to the Rhone River cruise in the south of France, because Italy just does not have a river that's navigable, but they still wanted to go on a river cruise. So they wanted to combine visiting Italy on their own and then doing a river cruise up the Rhone River. So we were able to fly them into Rome, and they were able to go out and do that experience. Now, we talked about Viking utilize Rome very often for a river cruise. Well, absolutely not, they don't. But they do use it quite a bit for their ocean cruises. And because of that, we're able to connect them through that type of an experience and be able to utilize the Viking Air system to fly into Rome, do their own self-exploration. They caught a quick 5-hour train from there up to Lyon, and they jumped onto the river cruise and had an exceptional experience. So certainly something you want to give some consideration to. So a really common question that I get is one that we received from Susan from Michigan. Should we just skip Viking Air and book our own flights? That certainly is a great option to give some consideration to. Maybe your circumstances just lend that you book your own flights. Maybe you're wanting to do a couple of trips or fly from another city, or you're just simply wanting to use points. Certainly a viable thing to do. As a travel advisor, we cannot help you book any flights with points, but it's certainly something you should take advantage of if you'd have those points available to you. Beyond that, for flights going independently, there are a couple of different options. One is just simply using Google Flights. It's really the most economical choice. It has the best search engine available. I actually use it quite a bit for myself when I'm helping clients find some air options. If they're going on economy air, this is going to be one of the best tools to use, and I quite frankly think it's a good advantage through booking independently. The disadvantage to it is that you don't have the Viking airport transfers that are so coveted, so do keep in mind that you're going to have to find your own way to the ship. If you're flying into your embarkation port on the day that the cruise starts, you can purchase the Viking airport transfer independently. Conversely, the same at the end of your cruise if you're flying directly home and you just want a quick transfer in the morning to get up to the airport for your flight home. That's certainly something you can add on to an independently booked flight. So it's a great way to experience everything. If you're experienced international travelers and you're very comfortable navigating European airports, they are quite simple. Don't mind arranging your own ground transportation and you want maximum control, Google Flights is certainly the best way to go. For most first-time river cruisers or people that are a little bit uncertain about traveling to foreign countries on their own, I still recommend using Viking Air with the Viking AirPlus over booking independently, just so you have all those transfers put together, all the logistics are already pre-planned. You just know exactly what's happening for every piece of the puzzle before you even leave your house. So the next question comes from Robert and Diane out of Chicago, and they wanted to know if they can fly business class with AirPlus. The answer is most certainly you can. So regardless of which status of air you're looking for, if it's economy, premium economy, or the business class option, you can still add on AirPlus and still be able to take advantage of getting everything booked earlier. For that long haul flight, the difference between economy and a lie flat bed can be kind of a life-changing experience. If you're taking a once-a-year trip or a once-in-a-lifetime trip, it can certainly be something to give some consideration to. Another thing that I'd like to mention, if you are doing a premium economy flight or a business class flight, you would like to have full control, but you want to have somebody that's going to be able to assist you 24 hours a day, because I do have to sleep sometimes. We do have a third-party option that would give you some incredible service with your air tickets. They do only work with premium economy and business class and first class seats, but they're an exceptional option. They can often get things priced for you at or cheaper than what you can get by utilizing Google Flights option on your own. So if you're looking at something of that nature, certainly let me know. I can get you connected with that third-party vendor that can help you with that and provide you with the 24/7 support that is going to help you in case there's any kind of an interruption or an issue. So to wrap everything up, is the AirPlus worth $150 per person extra? Well, for most travelers, absolutely. They just like having a little bit more control, knowing exactly how their trip is coming together, and it works out better. If you're traveling in a small group with family and friends, I consider it absolutely essential. If you care about where your seats are at, again, it's essential. If you want to go in early or stay late, AirPlus with the $100 deviation still can make a lot of sense. It's $250 extra, but you're getting a tremendous amount of benefit from those fees. So I walk every client through this decision as a part of the booking process. So certainly going to help you in any way that we can. If you found this information useful or helpful, please hit like and subscribe. We do have new videos that are going to be coming out on a regular basis regarding river cruises, especially Viking, but also the other 11 lines that I serve. If you're planning a Viking river cruise and would like some personalized help, please visit rivercruiseexperts.com. I do work with all of my clients independently and directly, mostly by phone and email. So you're going to get the real information, the real questions answered. You don't have to deal with the call center. I don't pass this off to a big, large group of assistants to help get everything managed. My wife and I do work independently to get everything taken care of for you. Additionally, last thing to keep in mind, we do have some additional exclusive perks and onboard credits that we offer to our clients, something you absolutely cannot get by booking direct. The link in the description will get you the details to get in touch with us, to schedule a call, or simply just send us an email. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I will read and answer each one of them personally. Thank you very much for watching.